This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Isn't it glorious, viewers? I look upon and see upon my domain, and they shall know my name as Commander Shepard. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Mass Effect. In the last episode, we became Spectres. Now we're cops without borders, without red tape. We can do whatever we want. Ha 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 ha! Oh man, this is gonna be glorious. The story of Shepard will be known to all the galaxy, well, the known galaxy anyway. But before we do that, let's talk to all the companions and everyone on the ship and see how they feel about Shepard being a Spectre. Only good things, I hope.
Commander, something you need?
Let's see how things are going. Status report, Joker.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Well, that guy's got a lot of chutzpah for saying that, but no, maybe shows off. I mean, or maybe he knows what he's doing because he is the pilot. So, hey, let's just talk.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Well, I didn't mean to insult you. What disease? What disease? Are you contagious? Do you have the cooties?
I can't have you on this ship if you're going to infect my crew.
Infect the crew? Oh man, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? Okay, I've got Vehicular syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm a sicko like that and I hear snapping bones. I think this is the first time when I played this game, I think this is the first time I ever heard of Rolex syndrome before. I may have come across it in like random medical text when I was in high school and stuff like that, or bits of college, but I don't remember that specific term. So that's kind of something different, basically needs a wheelchair or crutches. And you're probably thinking, well, is that little detail really important? Well, not in this game anyway. Not to spoil anything for the future, but Isaac's come up again later. And he does use crutches, although in this game you'll never see him get up off this chair, because that's not the point of him. I do like the fact that despite Seth Green being a comedian and all this other stuff, they didn't have him be a comedian in this role, if that makes sense. Like, he makes jokes every once in a while, and you can tell he's kind of ribbing on people and all this other stuff. He is Joker, so he does jokes, but it's not like a comedian or stand-up. He's just, someone in the military who would mess around, maybe have a few quibs every once in a while at your expense or someone else, just to kind of make light of a situation. So, it's always like a lot of shows or games or whatever, they'll have a comedian, they make them, like almost force them to tell jokes and all this other stuff, and it seems kind of cringy at times. I don't know, it seems to work here, I think, for the most part. Tell me about your disease. Tell me about the brittle bone breakness.
I need to know more about this Vehicular syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
How does he do his job? I mean, the ships don't have pedals. I mean, it looks like this ship doesn't even have a steering wheel. He just pushes some buttons. Unless he pushes it so hard it breaks his finger bones, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, but let's ask anyway. How do you do your job?
You're not going to break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
Well, if it's in your record, I assume you got here through meritocracy, if anything. Let's change subjects.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
Whatever I want, huh? Well, how'd you get your nickname, Joker, anyway?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
Yeah, see, it's that type of thing. Yeah, right. That's no answer.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
You know what? That sounds like military humor. Like I said, I've never been in the military, but I've had people and all this other stuff talk, and that sounds about right. So, were you unhappy?
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Well, there you go. It all comes full circle. Oh, I think... didn't we?
How'd you end up joining the
Look, if you're
Alliance?
looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that line of dialogue. For some reason, I thought I asked that question already, so my bad.
How's the Normandy
so-
performing?
She's the best
I did
ship in
again.
the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much
Okay,
ship
that's-
for your
that's-
average
I
Alliance
think-
pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Any new conversations?
I like to know my crew.
Okay, and then he's just doing the background check.
Top of my class in flight school, I earned that.
Yeah.
All those
da-
commendations.
da- 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 Sorry about that.
Eva,
I'm just...
put the Normandy
Okay,
in
we're
my
done.
hands and I'll make her
I have to
dance.
go.
All right, and then we get some information. We get some codex unlock and some experience. Like I said, it's worth talking to people, even if you just want to skip through the conversations, just to get some experience from it. So, all right, let's talk to Presley. Presley is our XO for this journey, so whenever we have to leave the ship, he takes over. I forgot what XO actually is short for. I think it's just like, not commanding officer. It's like, I'll have to look it up later. Like I said, military jargon is a bit, I wouldn't say beyond me, but like I said, not being in the military, you'll forgive me if I don't recognize all this up immediately.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Luckily after you do major missions, luckily for you, the crew doesn't add much extra to their dialogue outside of, I think Joker and obviously Presley, and then your companions have something to say. The companions will have more to say after major events. Your crew, for the most part, will just have like a line, and they'll say like, "Oh, bad tidings about that one place," and they're like, "Oh, okay." So that way we don't have to talk to them. That way we don't have to have like big, huge conversations every time. Not that I wouldn't mind it. I'm one of those guys that likes dialogue-heavy games, but I'm one of the rare few. So, yeah. Oh yeah, non-humans. Yeah, he's another. Yeah, you'll find out in this game there's a lot of people, especially humans, that are kind of, speciesists, alienists, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, they're on our side. You doubt my decisions?
I'm in charge here, Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Understood. Well, good to know that he follows my orders. Aliens on the ship?
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
I mean, well, I just had a big old speech about how it's all about humanity, so I can see how I'm like kind of pushing this idea onto my crews. That's kind of my fault in that case. But anyway, never turn away help. It's not just our problem.
This is bigger than humanity. Saren's a threat to every species in the galaxy, and I'll welcome anyone who wants to help me bring him down.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
Nothing wrong with some old ways aren't completely bad. It's just gotta evolve and grow with the times. That's all. So just keep that in mind.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
Wow. But apparently frigates are awesome even in space, you know. They're awesome in real life, too.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
You're going to have a long career here with us, I think, Presley.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, Renegade, you get Renegade points for basically not trying to convince Presley, but just saying, hey, I'm the boss. Listen to me. I'm the info. You know, that type of thing. So, oh, yeah, I already checked this for the codex we unlocked last time. So, all right. Oh, yeah, and I like the little detail. If you walk by soldiers or guards or whatever, they'll salute you. Yep, see? Just the little details in the game. You gotta love it. You know, like, one of the few times writers have actually dealt with, like, military structure before. I swear too many people write military, and they have no idea what they're talking about when they talk about the military. You know, like, the people writing the script never did the research. I was always told while doing, like, research for writing projects and stuff like that, that it was always a... Ooh, hello. Now we get a codex about some military stuff. I was always told you were supposed to, like, to make sure you're kind of writing... Well, not the correct stuff, but like more realistic stuff. You should always research or interact or get involved personally with things you're writing about, so it seems more realistic. But you'd be surprised how many writers just write stuff and it's just all jargon. And I mean, why do you think Hollywood movies are so inconsistent? I don't need all movies to be realistic or something like that, but I wonder what who stays in this room. Probably no one. I don't know. I just feel like writers nowadays are getting lazier and lazier. Even with the internet, with so many resources at our hands. Sorry for getting on that diatribe. Hey, doing chocolates?
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Got any new info that we didn't have from last time?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school.
That's the same.
But I wanted to travel the star. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep
Ever think you
expanding.
made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about open... But there's something special.
I think
about
her
working
dialogue
soldiers.
doesn't change much,
If I
unfortunately.
left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Oops.
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself.
Yeah,
though.
I already
Maybe
talked
because
to
of the
her
headaches.
about that.
It's not easy.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Okay. Yeah, I think she does have some extra dialogue later, but it's not too much. Like I said, it's mainly the crew. It's mainly the actual companions, the people who actually interact with you on a regular basis. Actually, I have more to say after major events or missions. Oh yeah, checking that gets you another codex about interstellar travel, I believe. Also, if you're male Shepard, Kaiden doesn't have a whole lot to talk to you about. Overall, like he'll still talk about major events and stuff like that, but if you're a fem Shep, and especially if you're interested in him to pursuing a relationship with, then he does have a lot more say. As male Shep, obviously he'll talk to you, but it only goes so far. For now, anyway.
Anything you need, Commander?
How's tactical working?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
That's his response to any of the major missions that go on. Although it's weird that we get that answer about Eden Prime like way after we've already been talking about being a Spectre and everything. Man, look at the shininess on my face. It's like I have oil everywhere. Ew!
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings.
See what I mean? How like Kaiden doesn't have much to say outside of like certain situations. So
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
one of the few gripes I do have about the game is the lighting is a bit too bright. I don't know. Maybe it's the Xbox version and the PC version, and I'm not talking about the Legendary version. Maybe the PC version cleaned it up a bit. Maybe made it not so bright or whatever, but yeah, it is extremely bright in certain situations. I'm like, good lord, turn off the lights. Oh god. I mean, it doesn't bug me that much, but you can, when you play other games and then you play this and you're like, whoa, hold on a second, tone that down, sucker. Anyway, let's talk to everyone else who's hiding down here. Yeah, most of your crew will hide up in the engineering bay for the most. I think Kaiden's the only one who hangs out upstairs, so I guess everyone just likes being emo and hiding in the dark, dank little areas. So yeah, we can get to talk to all the companions and see what they have to say about things. So, and yeah, like I showed before, you can go to everyone's locker. Tali, Rex, Garrus, Kai, and Ashley. But there's one extra locker there. I wonder who that is. You know, let's talk to Tali first. Gotta hear her lovely voice. You know, ask her about engineering stuff and whatnot. Oh yeah, I need to show Tali's skills at some point. I'll probably, before we go into anywhere major, I'll probably go back to Citadel to get the last of the keepers, because I found out where it was, and it's a place I always miss every single time I play this game. I don't know why, but I do. So, oh yeah, do you have anything to say, Adams?
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Has she been touching things, getting her weird Quarian hands over everything? She bothering you? I'll talk to you. I'll get rid of her.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Well, that's interesting. Well, at least even if she can't handle a gun as well, she can at least help with our ship. She's useful. I didn't.
Ambassador Udina made me take her along.
Normally, I don't have anything nice to say about politicians, but he made a good call on this. However, I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Yeah, which is weird that he had us do that, but you know, game requirements and stuff like that. So I forgot. No, I don't think he had anything to say the first time I came down here. But now we can talk to him about the ship engines and everything, the stealth systems.
Fill me in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
I wonder, I never actually researched any of the scientific stuff. I wonder if any of this is based on actual science or if it's more science fiction. I'd like to think that there is some science involved in the writing of this and some of the ways they go about things without it being actual practical science, you know, but what do I know?
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Kind of funny how he says, yeah, if you look out a window, you'll see us, but how many people in the future actually look out the damn window? So, because it doesn't really make sense. If you have, like, sensors and stuff that can see outside the ship, why would you have a big old window that, if, like, a flying meteorite piece hit the glass, possibly shatter it or suck you out into the vacuum of space, you know? Anyway, FTL gives us away.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Good to know. We can get in and out like a goddamn jack-in-the-box.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Can't hold a candle to the main ship. No sirree.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Tantalus? Isn't that a name like the Underworld or something like that? Or no, that's Tartarus.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Well, thanks for the information, Adams.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Yeah, we get some... I think he unlocks either FTL or stealth systems when we talk to him in the Codex, but, you know, let's talk to the young Tali. Let's see how this young go-getter technician is dealing with the ship.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
It's so cute. It's so cute to have like Tali just nerd out like this. I don't know why. So, the ship's special. Normally they're not. Gather information on us. Alien scum.
I don't like the idea of aliens studying the architecture of Alliance ships.
We're on the same side here. My people have more reason to hate the Geth than anyone, remember? But you can't blame me for being a little excited. I never dreamed I'd get a chance to travel on a ship as advanced as the Normandy.
You into That's not why you're here. You're into ships. Are you really into ships? If you know what I mean.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Wow. That was I was about to say that was a long time ago. 300 years. Man, 300 years to be kicked off your. Well, I think she explains it, but we can also, I think, go into the Codex and explains it too. But being kicked off of your planet for 300 years and being forced to change your whole ecosystem and way of living, that's got to be rough. Traveling vagabonds.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
I see. Gotta collect everything to keep this whole thing, whole bucket afloat. Gotta Frankenstein it, as I always like to call it.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
You'd think with 300 years, they would have eventually found a planet to repopulate after some point. I think they explain like what the issue is, but it's still one of those things like wouldn't you like shortly thereafterwards like, hey, maybe we should find a planet to live on. But then again, each alien species in this world has like different requirements of like what they can survive in. And obviously, after 300 years, they now, I mean, like I said, they'll explain why now they can't do it, or it's hard to do it right now. But back then, why didn't they figure that out? But I forgot. Anyway, like what?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
For some reason, I just thought of like a Quarian like Irish family that has like 9 children. Insanity.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
Well, that's good to know. You're democratic?
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
That's an interesting setup. I don't think that... Actually, if I recall, that never actually occurs. I wonder if they were going to set that up as a possible, like, story plot. Not in this game, but in a sequel, but in that... There is a scene, but it's never this specific situation she's talking about, or at least I don't remember the final game having that. No. Maybe it's just because how the story goes, but sometimes, you know, you always think, you know, if they mention it, that's going to become, well, not important, but maybe it'll get referenced again at some point, but no, not this one. But not everything has to be like that, so yeah, let's learn about one of our major opponents in this game.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
So they went all Skynet on you, huh?
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
And, well, I don't know if someone's mentioned it before, but after the Geth, AI, there it is. Isn't AI research illegal? Yeah, it became illegal after the Geth because of what they did.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Like a ant colony? Well, not an ant colony, but like a legion? Something like that? Yeah, I'm just throwing out random terms or phrases. I don't know what I'm talking about. Way they turn on you, the neural network.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Yeah, hive mind, like insects or something like that, or bees, or bees! Why they turn on you? Like a hive mind?
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Why they turn on you? Yeah, I'm too stupid to think of this. I don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Kind of like if my computer all of a sudden said, why am I alive? Why am I live? Quit making me go to those websites. I mean, what happened next? Why, yeah, kind of like AI or iRobot or something like that, you know?
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Well, yeah, I would see why. You know, you're basically saying, hey, we're gonna kill you all, basically. If incels are your fault, what'd you expect?
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Oh yeah, now I know why. It's because they wanted to get their home base planet back, and a lot of people are just like, no, we can't colonize a new planet. We gotta get our old planet back. It's like, but it's got millions of Geth there that can like repair themselves and all this other crazy stuff. I don't think it's gonna work, Jim. Serves you right.
You got what you deserved.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
Oh. Sorry, you're right. I'm not surprised. Not everyone.
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
And that's why AI should never have consciousness. I mean, these guys are terrible though. So, get pilgrimage.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
With open arms, hopefully. Do they always accept? Sounds dangerous.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Yeah, with their weak immune system, sounds like a War of the Worlds situation with the aliens. They get a cold, they might just die. Although people still die of colds in modern day, so I guess maybe that's not a good example. But you know, what was it that Jim Henson died or said before he died? I might need something. I think I have a cold. Okay, that was not cool. Sorry, I apologize. Do they always accept?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Don't hold us too much pressure. Almost kind of reminds me of the Amish community almost, except they let their young ones like leave the colony and go party basically for like a year, and then they can either choose to stay away from their Amish community or come back after doing all that partying. Well, I think what was the percentage, like 90% of them decide to come back. But I don't know all the details behind it, so.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Except the Amish don't have to send presents back or whatever. Anyway, bye.
I should go.
Yeah, we get Codex for talking to Tally. I like talking to Tally. Well, actually, I like talking to any of the characters, really. I'll try to, like, maybe try to divvy out how much I go on to talk rants with, like, companions, because I have to do it after major planned events. But the thing is, I'm getting a lot of this conversation out of the way now, because a lot of it you don't have to re-talk to them about. You only have to talk to them after an event. They'll have, like, a few lines of dialogue, unless you're doing a romance with them. So I'm kind of, I mean, for those who don't care about that stuff, I'm getting all this stuff out of the way now.
For supplies?
And we were talking about that.
Let's
see what he has now that we bought his license. Now that but unfortunately we know what we're saving our money for. But yeah, we don't have much in the way of credits, but we'll eventually get that, especially when we start getting like a ton of armor and weapons over the course of the game. And if you play it regularly, you will eventually get enough money. Yep. So okay. Anyway, I might do one more conversation talk with someone, and then maybe go on and do like go back to the Citadel and get some stuff cleared out there before we start exploring the universe, because we got a lot more game to go through, let me tell you folks.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
You think? You knew?
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Red tape. It's not that bad, you shouldn't complain. True.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
Their way. They must eat at Burger King or something. That was your reason?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
The only way to change things is from the outside. Wait a minute, what? It's a tough decision, you'll get over it. Forget about it.
You did the right thing. Life's too short to sit around waiting for things to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Maybe. Your way. That depends, whatever. I like the middle responses sometimes, like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care, I'm neutral. Tell my wife I said hello. Sounds good to me.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Yeah, certain characters have an arc to them. Like Garrus's arc is if you're a renegade with him, you kind of push his not renegade is the word, but like his vigilante tendencies and stuff like that. So, or if you're Paragon, you try to push him towards, trying to keep to an order, and obviously not, going the aggressive route and so forth and so on. So it's interesting. I think he's the only character that really has like a specific conversation route that can affect him like that. Although it really doesn't come up too much in the later games, but I think the idea was kind of set there for how he kind of plays later on in the group. But let's talk to another fan favorite, Rex.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
Shepard. How are things? Personal inquiry.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Well, we already got that story. I have nothing else, so come on, just one. Come on, just a short one. Have it your way. Don't be an ass.
You Krogan lived for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That's unfortunate, yeah. Big deal. Yeah, he's talking about the genophage. That'll come up. That's definitely one of the topic that'll definitely come up later. Big deal.
They tried the same with us, but we fought them off.
It's not the same.
No, it isn't the same. That's true, Rex. It isn't. Sure it is. Of course it is, because we don't know any better.
It seems similar enough to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
Yeah, okay. I guess you check mark for Krogan to have the better backstory. Nah, yeah, the what happened to Krogan is, I know what they did, but it seems almost worse or crueler with what they... You'll find that out more, well, a bit in this game, but in the later games, mostly. But, I mean, they did try to destroy the galaxy, so it's like one of those toss-ups, like, you know. It's kind of like dropping the atomic bomb on the Japanese for Americans during World War II. We did it because we didn't suffer any more deaths of our soldiers, which it did prevent, but it caused, like, so much problems for the people of Japan for, like, the next... I forgot how many years it was till, like, the nuclear fallout, like, was even officially cleaned up to the point of livability, because it caused so much, like, problems, not outside of just the initial deaths, but like the years and the nuclear radiation and all this other stuff. It's one of those things. It's another one of those things, like, you know, what was the right choice? I don't know. Those are one of those things I don't really have the answer to. Anyway, I see your point. Not exactly. So what?
You're still here. It can't be all that bad.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Well, maybe I won't. Oh, touchy subject.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Oh, really? I don't know. I think it is kind of killing you, especially with what you said, but, okay, we could go into details. Extinction?
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So no one's interested in staying home and trying to fix the problem or trying to do something about it.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
It's kind of like the same idea, you know, they say warriors, they have to fight. It's kind of like the soldier who comes home from war. And, I mean, obviously most of the normal soldiers, well, maybe that's a bit cruel. Some soldiers do end up, like, going back to their regular lives, but some get so... We're either really into the war or really into being a soldier that they don't know how to be a civilian anymore. That's why a lot of people who join the war or join the army stay in the army after their service, because they're like, well, they got so used to it, or they couldn't. It's the same with, like, almost this, well, maybe not exactly the same, but it's the same with, like, with prisoners who've been incarcerated for so long. They don't know how to live in the real world because they've been isolated in their own world for so long. So, but anyway.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one, and no one's rushing to find a cure.
You would think they would keep trying, even after all these years. I think they would have tried.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Now, what I'm surprised about is why has the like what they did in the genophage, why isn't that, like, worn out or mutated to the point it doesn't work the same way anymore? Like, when did it at some point, like, wore out? Like, I know human bodies are different from Krogan, but human bodies can, you know, over the years, like, metamorphize or adapt to certain diseases and conditions and stuff like that, or it might mutate, kind of like the common cold or whatever. So why not the genophage? Oh, what am I talking about? I don't know nothing about medical science. That won't come up later.
So long, Rex.
Anyway.
Shepard.
Oh yeah, I love Shepard's, like, even if you have nothing to say with him, just like what he's... I wonder if that's the same thing.
Shepard.
Rex.
That was a meme for a while. Just Rex, Shepard, Rex, Shepard. So, yeah, let's talk to our favorite soldier lady, and then we'll try to... I'll try to get something else done before today's episode. I didn't expect to spend the whole episode in the Normandy.
Commander?
How are things? How are we doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
Stop dwelling. We tried to get here sooner, so... well, we tried to save your unit. Well, I don't think that's the option that can... You have to be careful, like, if you're trying to romance a character, that, like, what decisions will affect what. I don't think this one affects it, but there are certain decisions that'll piss Ashley off, so, you know, I think it's the can we talk options, I believe. But I'll be nicer to her in this case.
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit?
Yes, sir. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Couldn't be now. Be more alert. Don't blame yourself.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
Sir, they have flashlight heads. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay, then.
Dismissed, Chief.
Sir.
But, okay. But yeah, it's the... whenever you want to do certain conversations, you do the can we talk option.
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Okay, so we can't... I didn't think we could do anything with her
Sir.
right now because we haven't done... We've already done that major mission. Our first interaction was the, you know, saying, oh, it wasn't your fault and thanks for saving me and blah, or, you know, all that blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, as soon as we finish either Pharos or Novaria or deal with that thing with Liara, there won't be anything more. So those story points only incur when we've done a major story element. And those three areas I'm talking about are major story elements. So for the rest of the game, the major story elements are those three, one more, and then so five major story, well, technically 6 major story events, quote unquote. But I count the kind of the last two, I kind of combine the last two together for the most part. So yeah, really, technically, if I wanted to beat this game, I could do it pretty, like, within, well, let me see. I think it takes me, like, about, if I really skip things, it'd take me about less than an hour for each major planet and event. So, yeah, I could probably beat this game in the next 5 hours or 5 episodes if I really, really wanted to. But what the fun would that be? But anyway, let's go back to the Citadel so I can finally get the rest of that. Unlock a little bit of extra dialogue, as well as, let's go and bring Ashley and Tali, for no reason, just because I want to bring the ladies with me this time. And to get some extra conversation from the elevators.
Interior pressure with exterior atmosphere.
Oh, and I can actually talk about,
Log. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
And I'll also talk about Tali's abilities and stuff like that since we're here. So, let's look over her stats really quick. Yeah, I need to mess with people's levels and stuff like that. But Tali is a engineer. Engineers in this game are probably the best class in Mass Effect 1 specifically because of the abilities they have and because of the enemies we fight. Because in this game, like, 75% of the enemies we encounter in this game are going to be Geth. And all our abilities are designed to wreck Geth. So, you know, you got your electronics that deals with, like, overloading shields, so that, and then we got a damping, which will reduce the Geth's technical abilities because they can use a lot of tech attacks and stuff like that, but allows you to also explode bombs and stuff like that in the area. Then we got the description skill, which can sabotage weapons, which are really good for the Geth against the Geth because then they can't shoot us. But the really, really big one, the best ability in the game for Geth is hacking. My God, this ability is awesome. If you can get like if you can get enemy, reduce all of the enemy's defenses, and you use hacking, you basically have an extra ally in battle. It is glorious. The only problem is like having to get that to cool down as quickly as it can. Obviously, you want to get your hack maxed up as this is a boon in like the hard difficulties. You do get, if you choose an engineer, you get the same abilities. So even if you never use Tali, you want to boost up your hacking skills, at least for this game. In the later sequels, hacking is not as big. They changed it, obviously modified it. But in engineering, techs are still useful, but they're not like so OP that the class in itself is special. So if you ever go on a mission with that have Geth involved, which usually most missions you can kind of tell, like most of the major planets will have a Geth on them. So in some side missions, so if you ever have a side mission or whatever, always make sure that mentions Geth. Always bring Tali and someone else with electronics. So that's why Tali and Garrus work really well as a group.
Binary Helix has settled out of court with a Krogan group that had accused the Genetics Corporation of fraud. The Krogan group had contracted Binary Helix to perform studies with a long-range goal of curing their genetic sterilization. The group later sued for a return of investment money when the study produced no viable results.
And that's random. Last time I did this off-screen, Tali and Ashley spoke, but I have a bad habit of like wanting to stare at the rears of the characters because I'm trying to wait for the elevator. But man, Tali has some hips. My God. I mean, you could just compare the two. It's night and day. I'm kidding, viewers. Well, I mean, Tali does hips for days. My God, it's glorious. Okay. And actually, if we go back to the Citadel, a few new events occur, but I am going to skip those for now. I'll show those off, but I want to show off some extra dialogue as well as show off where the rest of those keepers are. The one keeper I forgot to scan from an old save. I forgot to scan the one where we helped Tali out. I forgot to scan that keeper. Well, I did scan it, but I reloaded an old save. So.
In breaking news, Chairman Burns of the Parliament Subcommittee on Transhuman Studies has been kidnapped by biotic extremists. The biotics commandeered a freighter and were last seen in the Hades Gamma Cluster. No demands have yet been made.
Okay, so now that we've done that, we've unlocked a new mission in the Hades Gamma Cluster. So I don't know if we might do that next episode, actually. Oh yeah, and unfortunately, Shepard does not have much of an ass, unfortunately. Then again, these suits aren't designed to show off asses. They're designed to protect you from damage. The only reasons Tali's is different is because she has to have her own unique armor, so she can show off a bit more of her figure. But normal humans, nope. Now, I'm surprised it was showing off. Yeah, see, and then unlocks in the journal. I can show you what it does. It unlocks the. Which one? I guess it's the top one. I don't know. It went down to the bottom. The hostage. Hostage one, so there you go. Also, there's quite a few missions we can finish here. When we got that, like, actually, does he have? I'm trying to remember if some characters have new dialogue.
Hey, Commander Shepard.
Everything.
Good to see you again. Anything you need?
What do you know about the Spectre?
Just the stuff they show in some of the other CSEC guys. But if they were
okay,
so
he doesn't
bad,
even mention the fact that
we're
a Spectre now. Okay.
I have to go.
So, yeah, some characters don't really have more outside of that, so. Which, I mean, is fine. Not every NPC has to have, like, brand new dialogue or... but yeah, now, when we got that optical disc from Fist, that Emily Wong now has... we can now give that to her to complete her little storyline. But what we want to do is we want to go through this door control here. And, yeah, see how on the map it shows a little thing there for Emily Wong. So yeah, if you don't know if a mission or there's a new mission, usually the map will have a... Oh yeah, it even shows on the map what each mission is. Vehicle, store, destination, squad member, and all that fun stuff. Yeah, every time I play this game, I always forget about this little section here. Because there is, like... I keep thinking it's just an elevator to the wards, but there's actually a halfway point that you get to.
My people are wanderers, not military leaders. All this fighting seems strange. It must be more familiar for you, Chief Williams.
Trying to take down a rogue Spectre and his army of synthetics? No, they didn't cover this in basic.
They sure didn't. Yeah, sometimes the AI will kind of move around. Usually it's supposed to reset into place, so they're all standing in kind of the same formation, but every once in a while you can get the... Man, jeez. Anyway, they'll just reset. You know, look at her... it's always interesting looking at... Like, sometimes you have to just do stuff differently, like look at the designs of suits and everything like that, because you're waiting for the elevator to get to its next destination, so... okay, so here's the final keeper, but I do need to scan that one keeper down in the near Cora's Den, which I accidentally forgot to go get. The whole point was to go do that, but I can just teleport to that as soon as we get to that point. I think there's some...
So how are you liking your posting at the academy?
It's good. Busy, though. I can't believe how many people you get coming in from the wards.
Yeah, it's the busiest station on the Citadel. You'll never get bored.
I guess not, but you could still use a few more men.
That's why we brought you here.
Sure, but there's still way more complaints than the officers can handle.
That's just life near the wards, kid. You'll get used to it.
Do you ever get used to it, though? Do you? What's this?
Looks like they bounced their signal off a relay. I'll trace a new signal.
Which is weird that... Shouldn't Talia been the one about that? Because she's all about the electronics. Not saying Ashley couldn't do it, it's just...
What do you say we head down to Cora's den after shift?
Sounds good. Some of the others are going for Novio's farewell thing.
Damn, I forgot that was today. Where's he going again?
Novaria. Apparently, they've got a huge demand for corporate security.
Novaria? Isn't that the frozen planet?
Yeah, I wouldn't go, but I guess the pay's pretty good.
Why do I feel like going there and being a security guard in the future is not going to be pleasant for you people? So just to keep that in mind. But yeah, it's always corporate people tend to pay their security better because, you know, they always find ways to get all that money. And this will take us right where the Hanar was, the Hanar and that one CSEC officer, which I can't even do that quest the way I want to.
In remembrance of Eden Prime, we present another profile in courage with serviceman Nirali Bhatia. A devoted wife and talented chef, Serviceman Bhatia joined the Alliance military under the Deferred Education Plan. After finishing her service, Bhatia planned to open a restaurant. Instead, she gave her life protecting the colonists of Eden Prime. For more profiles in courage, or to explore opportunities in the military, please visit the Alliance military on the extranet. Keyword, courage.
Now remember, that was a thing on the internet? Man, you could tell this was made in 2007. Now it'd be, if that was made today, that the whole extranet, everything would be slightly changed a bit. Oh, and that stayed on screen a lot longer than it should have. But yeah, if I want to finish this Hanar thing, I was testing it on screen just to remember how many blocks of Intimidate I need. I actually need 6 blocks of, if I want to do the one I want to do. How high the variance is different. If you want to convince the Hanar to leave from aggressive means, it requires more than if you do it through Paragon, or if you convince the CSEC officer to leave him alone. Okay. Well, anyway, let me go to Cora's den. That's the closest place to do the that, and then we can talk to Corbin about his little issue. And I think after that, I'll probably, because that'll probably be the end of the episode by that point. Probably what I'll do is I'll probably go do some. It might be a while till I do a story again. I'll probably do like a couple of space exploration stuff, because I want to kind of mix it up a bit without being stuck in the same thing the whole like for many episodes. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got the complete data. So journal updates, we get a huge experience of money boost. Thank you, Corbin. And now we can obviously, if we do the Corbin thing, we can still do the depending on how the events occur, we can still finish the keepers things, but there is a way for the mission to end not so nice, if you know what I mean. Not so cordial. But anyway, let's go talk to him. Luckily he's like right there, so let's go see what this man has to say. Huh, why are you surrounded by all these dudes, Corbin? Actually, I might. Now I'm trying to remember. I might not have enough renegade points to finish this the way I do, so I might do like a episode where I show you like how Corbin's talk ends or whatever. Actually, usually I don't do this on screen, but I'm gonna go ahead and see. I think I want to keep that file for now, so we'll save that one. Unfortunately, you only get like 10 slots or something like that. In later games, you get a lot more slots, but in this game, you only get so many. So,
Commander, I wasn't expecting to see you again. Is there something you want?
No more the truth. I want answers. No more lies.
Drop the act. I want to know what's going on, Shorban.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. My experiments are...
Your lies are catching up with you. We spoke with your friend, Jalid.
You spoke with Jalid? Then you know about the data?
Yeah. Well, not yet. Data. Enough!
Just tell me everything you know.
You boys can go. Looks like my plans have changed. It's not as bad as you think, Commander. Jalid and I just got a little over our heads.
I think a situation can occur where you end up getting attacked by Corbin. How so?
Keep talking.
The company we work for developed an experimental procedure for use in medical scanners. Jalid and I saw even more potential, so we stole the plans and secretly developed a tool to scan the Keepers. Can you imagine? A tool that can actually get readings from the Keepers?
So, I'm not sure I follow. That's it.
That's what all this fuss is about?
The Keepers are almost impossible to scan, and you can't capture them or get samples. They just self-destruct. After centuries here, we still don't know anything about them. Don't you see? We were the first to scan them, ever. You've seen it yourself, Commander. You know we can do it.
But what about Jalid and him wanting to kill you? This seems to be like there's more to it.
Why are you trying to kill your partner?
I'm not trying to kill him. Jalid's job was to disseminate our initial findings. But he decided to keep the data for himself. Maybe to sell it. I don't know.
I like this answer. What? I see her.
I should kill both of you idiots.
We lost our heads. We just couldn't let an opportunity like this pass us by. Commander, if you'll just continue gathering data for me, imagine what we might learn. And you'll stand to make a bit of a profit yourself, remember?
And obviously, since I've already done it, I mean, we could say no more, and that'd be fine, because we already got the rewards for it. But that's why if you're playing like the Paragon path, it's better to finish what he asks and then say no more. No more, all right. Yeah, sure.
If it'll help further the scientific cause, how can I refuse?
Very good. Maybe if you wouldn't mind speaking with Jalid. The data you're gathering for me is useless if Jalid won't help me analyze it.
Of course, maybe. Sure.
If I have time, I'll talk to him.
Thank you. And happy scanning, Commander.
I forgot how you... I might have to look up and maybe show like the alternate scene, because I could have swore you could do something that would cause Corbin to attack, like sick his goons on you and attack you, but I forgot how to do that. Like I said, I played this so many times and so many different paths, but I've forgotten so many different of the alternates and versions and everything like that. So I wonder if this one guy's back yet or not. It's because we still gotta... Well, I mean, technically I shouldn't end the episode yet. Okay. I have to finish a major planet for that to occur. Let's see. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Before we call it an episode, let me go talk to Emily and get the rewards for that, since we're like right there. So, yeah, I think. Well, let me do that thing, and then we'll. Because as long as I don't finish the, as long as I don't get to a certain part in the story, I can always come back to the Citadel and do more missions. It'll give me reason to go through the elevator and show all the different dialogues with the characters as well. That's why I don't want to finish everything all at once. So anyway, let's give Emily Wan the data, which is from the. Well, I can show you the results of the scan the Keepers, and then we need to actually. Jalid's secret. We did that. We talked to. Speak to Jalid about that. Jalid wanted to talk to Corbin, which we did, and then was to tell you the whole truth. So let's go to. Okay, maybe I'll finish that and then we'll call it, because I don't want to leave that on a cliffhanger. But yeah, here's the reporter's request. Off screen, I actually re-talked to her and told her I didn't want to do it. But interesting enough, if you tell her off, you still go, you know what? Here it is. Well, you told everyone that you didn't want to help her find your information. You might still run across something. So there are some missions that if you tell them off, you can still look for it anyway. And then it says plot items FIST OSD, which we got, which is why it's grayed out like that. The information you found in FIST hideout will help Miss Wong with a report on corruption. Go to that rewards to deliver it to her. So, all right, let's give it to her.
I know you didn't want to help, but you've taken down Fist. I was sure he was a big player in anything going on here. Did you find anything in his office that could help me?
With these help I found? Nah.
Nothing I intend to share with the press. These are for an official investigation.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Commander. I'd hoped you'd see the benefit of working with the press. I won't trouble you any further.
Now that officially turns off the information if you just don't give her the... You're like, I'm not working with the press. Suck it. You refused to give Emily Wan the information she wanted. So, wah. So, Yeah, let's oh, wrong. No, that's the save I want. Never mind. So I just want to show what happens if you just shut her off. But we do get money for doing it, so yeah, one of the few times I'd break my, and it's not like you get renegade points for doing it. It's just more of a standard no option. Oh yeah, the Corbin thing is here. Oops.
Commander.
And you don't get negative points with this anyway, so
you boys can go.
I think if oh actually no, I think I know how you can get him. I think if you do all the Paragon points, he attacks you, I think, or something like that.
Imagine?
That's what.
But since you don't get really renegade points for doing this, this is more of like a personal how you want to see the mission go down or something like that.
You'll stand to make a bit of a profit
if it'll help.
The data you're gathering for me is useless. Thank you.
Yeah, not every option that's on the right side when it comes to the like top left and top bottom. Not all the times is it going to be Paragon or Renegade. Sometimes it's just affirmative and negative. But like I said, when I talked about how you get Paragon and Renegade, it is a good rule of thumb to listen to. So yeah, let me talk to Wong again and actually do the neutral response, because as you saw, we didn't even give her the thing, and we didn't even get any Renegade stuff for it. Now there might be some like minor stuff that occurs in the later games, I think, if you reject her for now, but it's one of those minor lines of dialogue that's not a big deal to show. But anyway,
I know you didn't want to help. I was sure he was a big player in anything going on here. Did you find anything in his office that could help me?
These OSDs might have the information you're looking for.
You've got Fist files? This could be even bigger than I'd hoped. Here, Commander, for your trouble.
I can offer more. Oh, good. I have 2 boxes of dollars, so I guess it's just enough. It was no problem to find, or no problem, fine. I can offer more. You owe me more.
I had to kill people for these discs. They're worth more than you're offering.
I didn't tell you to kill Fist. But you're right. I suppose that I did ask you to help me, so... Here, this should be more than adequate. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should go see what's on these discs.
Exit stage left indeed. Yeah, so that's why I actually wanted to do it, because you can get a Renegade option, get some more money for it. Oh, baby. Okay, where is the closest teleport? It should, whoops. Should be over here. Nope. I need to go to CSEC so I can finish the delete thing, and then we'll call it a day. Sometimes I have to go a bit over my standard recording, because like I said, I do so much dicking around or listen to dead dialogue that for people who want action aren't going to get it for quite a few episodes, so... What are you doing here, random dude? Get out of here. Okay, so anyway, we want to go to CSEC so we can talk to Jalid. There might be another couple of conversations I can have with Ashley and Tally, but usually a good rule of thumb is just to do character conversations after major events. Okay, Jalid was over this way. Yeah, I believe Chorbin. I think there is a set of certain responses that get him to attack you, I believe, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't remember every single variation, so.
Hello again. Did you have any luck finding Chorbin?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yes, of course.
I found out you've been lying to me, Jalid.
Lying? Why would I lie to you?
What about the Keeper data?
He told you? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I was afraid Chorbin would kill me to get the data, so well, I was hoping you'd take care of him.
Hoping to be your free bounty hunters or whatever. It's okay, we're in a bit of trouble. We're in this together. Relax, I'm helping you out.
I'm scanning the Keepers for Chorbin, but you two need to stop fighting.
You're helping us? But... well, if you say so. Well, if Chorbin can forgive and forget, then so can I. I appreciate the help, Commander. I better go get that data analyzed.
Yeah, I want to be paid, which I got. So that's the end of that storyline there. So we've gotten some friends to reconciliate, and we threatened a reporter with physical violence, and we learned some history about some of our allies. What's next for Commander Shepard? Will he spend that time going out into the great space beyond or other such locations? Find out next time in the next episode of Mass Effect. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.